Ladies and gentlemen, we are probably in one of the most, without question, darkest times in American history, in global history. We are approaching something that is unlike anything, definitely anything we've ever seen in United States policy when it comes to the Middle East, United States policy in any regard. We have not seen anything like this. We are entering a phase of darkness that is going to be unforgivable. It's going to be unforgettable. It's going to be a stain on the United States and might ultimately be our downfall, amongst other things. The breaking news, which I'm sure many of you have heard at this particular point today, is Wednesday, February 5th. Netanyahu, the first international leader to come to the White House in Trump's new term here as the 47th president, he welcomes Netanyahu, war criminal. I don't know how Netanyahu got off a plane and wasn't immediately arrested, but apparently we don't recognize ICC, the laws, and things along those lines. So he's a friend to the United States. Israel is a friend to the United States. Why that continues, I have no idea, because the jig has been up for a while now. With this whole genocide over the last 15, 16 months, Israel has shown its hand. They have proven what they are, the criminals that they are, the warmongering, evil, genocidal maniacs that they are, led by Netanyahu. And just to be clear, before we start this whole thing, this is not an anti-Semitic thing. This is not a Jewish thing. I love my brothers, my Jewish brothers and sisters around the world. I love you. My Jewish brothers and sisters here in America, I love you. This is an anti-Israel thing, okay? I wouldn't give a damn if it was Africans doing what they're doing to other people. I would be dead set against my black people doing that, and I would be speaking as vocally about it as I am talking about the Israelis right now. And probably more problematic, the thing we need to discuss is Trump. That's what we need to do. Let's get into this. I want to go into I want to look at the actual video of Netanyahu in the office with Trump. Many people are waking up this morning, and the people who went to bed last night who actually saw this are in disbelief to the point, like, many think it's not even real. Like, is it possible that he said these things? Let's take a look at this. I can't believe this. I just can't.
It's going to happen, I think, very quickly. I also strongly believe that the Gaza Strip, which has been a destruction for so many decades and so bad for the people anywhere near it, and especially those who live there, and frankly, who's been really very unlucky. It's been very unlucky. It's been an unlucky place.
It's been very unlucky. It's been unlucky. This guy's such a moron. When he speaks, he's a moron. Okay? They haven't been unlucky. They've been wiped out by Israel. They have been attacked by Israel, and it's not a war. And let's not go back to this October 7th. Oh, October 7th. And that's not me minimalizing October 7th or what Hamas did on that day or making light of the deaths that took place. It's me saying, yes, horrible incident. You retaliated, but I think you went a little overboard. Major overboard. You've wiped out an entire population of people, mostly women and children. So this whole idea that you're going to fall back on October 7th and we're going to shed tears every single time we hear that, and that's going to justify you wiping out an entire nation of people? Yeah, okay, save that one.
For a long time. Being in its presence just has not been good, and it should not go through a process of rebuilding and occupation by the same people that have really stood there and fought for it and lived there and died there and lived a miserable existence there. Instead, we should go to...
Why have they lived a miserable existence there? Why have they... It's every time there's a conversation about Israel and Palestine, it's constantly, there's never mention of what really has been taking place over the many years and the history of this place. It's always a fallback to, well, the Bible said that's ours and we were there thousands of years ago, so it must be ours. There's always that argument. And this idea that that Hamas and the Palestinians have been hurting us and attacking and trying to wipe out the Jews in Israel. It's constantly that narrative. I'm not saying there hasn't been a fight, but I'm sorry, when you eliminate certain pieces of history, like the idea that the Zionists came in and wanted to basically wipe these people off their land. They had been there for thousands of years, and they just come in and want to wipe them out, and you expect people not to fight back. You have an apartheid state, and you have a bunch of brown people who are being demolished, and somehow we're supposed to just forget about that? Like, oh, let's just make it all Israel's the victim. The Jews in Israel have been the victims. Save it.
Other countries of interest with humanitarian hearts, and there are many of them that want to do this and build various domains that will ultimately be occupied by the 1.8 million Palestinians living in Gaza, ending the death and destruction and, frankly, bad luck. This can be paid for by neighboring countries of great wealth. It could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 12. It could be numerous sites, or it could be one large site. But the people will be able to live in comfort and peace, and we'll make sure something really spectacular is done. They're going to have peace. They're not going to be shot at and killed and destroyed like this.
All right, so I lost video there. I'll try to get it back, but I'll keep talking about this. The more important thing, the quote from this guy: "The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip." Really? This is not like made up talk. This is not like, oh, he's doing this. He said that. This is not taken out of context. Like there's, good people on both sides statement and all that. This is not taken out of context. This is not, can we figure out if Elon did a Nazi salute or not? This is straight up him quoting, the U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip. And basically what they want to do is create the Riviera of the Middle East. Are you listening to this? So we want to basically, it's been demolished. Why would they want to live there? It's been demolished. Yeah, because basically Biden and his administration, his criminal warmongering, genocidal maniacs, war criminals that they are, they basically aided and abetted and were complicit in the genocide. October 7th was used as an opportunity, which is another whole conversation we can have. The fact that Netanyahu was aware of October 7th, allowed it to happen, was funding Hamas, allowed it to happen and used it as a pretext, used it as an excuse to go wipe out the Palestinians. This has been a long-standing plan that's been in the works for a long time. So don't be fooled in thinking that out of nowhere October 7th happened and then, hey, we got to fight back to protect ourselves. And this guy even went so far as Trump to repeat the lies that have been debunked by Israeli newspapers and reporters themselves about babies, raping women, babies. Oh, poor the Jews in Israel. They've been bullshit. I call bullshit. It's been debunked. You're wrong. You're a liar. And you're pulling on the heartstrings of everybody who's sitting around and they're pro-Israeli. Oh, the Hamas has been raping. No, your people, the Israelis, Netanyahu, the war criminal standing next to you in the Oval Office. That's who's been raping, killing, pillaging, and wiping people out. Genocide. Everyone has already, all the international courts and the different agencies throughout the world have determined that this is genocide. And only the United States and only Trump supplied with $100 million by Miriam Adelson. And before that, Sheldon Adelson, right? This guy's got millions of dollars from from AIPAC. And America is going to continue to support these people and continue to support genocide in the name of the Jews and Israel and them being persecuted all around the world. And that's what this whole thing's about. And we're going to wipe brown people out from their land, take 2 million plus people displaced, take them and put them somewhere else so Trump and Jared Kushner can build beachfront condos and make the Riviera of the Middle East? Let me say this to you. If you were one of the people that was anti-Biden and the whole, calling him a warmonger and talking about genocide, in the Middle East and how terrible it was and how the Biden administration was funding this and how this is bad and how we figured Trump was going to somehow, and I mentioned this. I mentioned that somehow possibly Trump would get us out of there and blah, 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 and he's not looking for war. But at the same point, I mentioned the fact that it's going to be a little difficult to do when he's, again, funded by AIPAC and Miriam Adelson, and he's got also Israeli ties between Jared Kushner and Saudi Arabia and him and Saudi Arabia and Israel. It's all a thing that Trump can't escape. He's not going to get away from it, okay? And I said this. So if you're somebody who was anti-Biden, again, criminals, because they funded and supported this entire genocide, Trump is coming in now and cleaning it up. And they're going to build beachfront condos. If you're somebody who was supporting Trump thinking, oh, well, he may get us out, and then you were all excited by the ceasefire deal that he did, which, again, was bullshit, okay, so that Netanyahu can get a few hostages back. That's really what this was. And they're going to go right back to bombing the brown people and finishing the job before they build their beachfront condos. If you're one of the people who supported Trump, like, look, this is beyond, like, let's make America great, right? I'm with you. If that was your thing and you thought Trump was a strong guy and he went on Joe Rogan, so he's cool and blah, blah, blah. First of all, he's an idiot. You know he's an idiot. He sounds like an idiot. Only an idiot would actually think that he's an intelligent, reasonably sounding, decent politician or gentleman or a guy of stature or a guy who has any kind of dignity or respect when he speaks. He's an idiot. He's a moron. If I was in a club with this guy, I was in any intellectual setting, he's the guy you'd walk away from, like, Jesus Christ, the guy's vocabulary is that of a fifth grader and he's dumb. Oh, it's very unlucky. We're going to do things very big. He's a moron, a dumbass. And this particular moment of anger that you are feeling for me right now goes beyond partisan politics and MAGA and Make America Great. And this is something way bigger. This is a very, very dark moment in history. And if you're too stupid to realize that because you got your nose up Trump's orange ass, I suggest you pull your head out. And what I'm really waiting for, here's what I really want to see. All of the Trump stands, all the MAGA stands, Candace Owens in particular. Oh, she's been so vocal about the genocide in Gaza and so anti-Israel. I mean, she's made it to like the top anti-Semitic list or whatever it was that was published. She's made it to the #1 spot because she's so pro-Christianity and she's so against. I mean, I don't think she's anti-Semitic. I really don't. I don't. I think her calling out Israel and calling out the genocide and Netanyahu and what's been taking place is 100% correct. But now let's see where her loyalties are. Let's see how real Candace keeps it, because this will be a test right here. Because she's been up Trump's ass for God knows how long. So now how do you reconcile that? How do you talk about Israel and genocide taking place and at the same point kiss Trump's ass when you see what's happening here? Let me see what Candace Owens does. Let me see what any one of you who have been anti-genocide, anti-Israel, anti-Netanyahu, and you've seen what's taken place, how could you possibly not call your boy Trump out on this one? I'm calling him out. I'm telling you, this is probably, I'll put it to you like this. If the ladies on The View this morning go nuts over this, it'll be the only time that I will look at them and be like, hey, they're 100% right. This is not about spin. This is not about CNN trying to make Trump look bad. He made himself look bad. He made himself look like a dictator. He made himself look like one of the most evil people in the history of leadership in the world of a country. You cannot simply take land, and we're going to use the United States military to go over there and do it to finish the job. Yeah, they don't need to be there. It's a wasteland anyway. Get them out of there. We're going to use the military to what? To take out 2 million plus people? To move them somewhere else? To just move people? The United States of America is going to go into a sovereign nation, and is going to go in there, and after we've already wiped out most of the people, women and children, we're now going to say, hey guys, listen, we got some homes for you over here. They're beautiful. Don't worry about it. We're just going to move you over there. And all the Jews and the Israelis are going to have a new resort in the Middle East. And all the wonderful Jews of America can go over there and hang out and have a great time. All the pro-Israeli people. Let's make it clear again. Not an anti-Jew thing. Not an anti-Semitic thing. It's an anti-genocide thing is what this is. Because I'm almost positive that there are plenty of Jewish folk who saw that meeting between Netanyahu and Trump and what he said in America right now. There are plenty of Jews in America and around the world who feel the same way I feel right now. who feel the same way I feel. This is disgusting, a despicable time in American history. And honestly, something's got to be done. That's all I can say. I got notes. I don't even know what else. Between Jared Kushner, we saw this coming. The deals and the things that are taking place, the real estate development that's taking place, they want that land, and they were intent on taking these brown people from their home and wiping them out. Don't ever be fooled and think it was something else. It was not about, oh, October 7th, we're protecting ourselves against Hamas. It's bullshit. How many reports of Israeli Jews and Israel attacks do you have coming across your feed right now? How many people have been wiped out? How much of Israel is still there? Seriously, answer the question. This is absolutely one of the darkest times in history. I cannot believe that this man is getting. I would go so far as saying, first of all, Netanyahu should be arrested immediately. Okay, and second, I'm going to go far and say that Trump should probably. This would be the time where charges, impeachment, some level of whatever is in the Constitution, whatever allows them to get rid of this man, now would be the time. Honestly, at the end of the day, I don't think it would even help. Because if if Harris had won the election and she was here, the same thing would be happening. The same thing would happen if Biden never showed his cognitive, decrepit self, right? And he was still, they didn't commit a coup on him, and he ran and somehow he won and beat Trump. His old ass would be continuing to do the same thing. Trump, I think it's slightly worse, though, because of the real estate connections and the development. And that's really what this is about. Money, real estate, development between him, Jared Kushner, and all of his connections with all of this. That's what this is about. And it's absolutely disgusting. If this happened on your home, I don't care if you're white. You could be white, Anglo, pro, whatever. You could be a total Nazi. You would be disgusted if you thought a group of people were going to, if you already had your people wiped out, and then they wanted to take you and move you somewhere. They killed women and children, wiped out your people, and then a foreign country said, yeah, we're going to move the rest of you people out and take your land. Nobody would tolerate this. No one would tolerate this. This is gross. I can't even. Time to Talk podcast. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. To the people who've already subscribed, I appreciate you. Hit the notification bell so you know when I put up new content. Let me know in the comments below if this is equally as appalling and enraging and you're as angry as I am. Do you think this is one of the darkest days in American history? Or am I making too big of a deal over this? Is it not dark? Are you still pro-MAGA, pro-Trump? Yeah, this is a good move. I want to see you try to rationalize this somewhere. Go ahead and let me know in the comments. Like the video on the way out. I truly appreciate that. It helps everything that's going around, and it helps me continue to make this content for you guys. And I'll see you on the next Time to Talk podcast. Peace.